Welcome to This Day in His Story, created by American Heritage Worldwide. A reminder that every day holds something new to learn. Did you know that Boxing Day has nothing to do with the sport, but everything to do with the boxes that contained your Christmas gifts? Travel back with us 800 years ago to Great Britain, on the day after Christmas, when collection boxes were opened for the poor. Workers were given money and notes of thanks for their services, and the poor and needy received charitable gifts. Continue this tradition of true service today by helping someone in need.
So if you're listening, you're probably here to solve a bit of a holiday mystery, right? You've heard the name Boxing Day, and if you're in a place like the U.S., you might be picturing, I don't know, people lacing up gloves after Christmas dinner.
And yeah, if you assumed that, you'd be wonderfully wrong. You asked for this deep dive because you suspect there's something bigger here.
A massive, multi-century history.
And you are absolutely right.
So our mission today is to give you that thorough understanding. We're going to unpack, 800 years of history?
At least.
We'll trace how its traditions evolved. Some of them are pretty extreme. And then look at the ethical spirit behind the giving that you shared in the source material.
And just to get it out of the way immediately, let's dispense with the confusion.
Please.
This has zero to do with pugilism, with the sport of fighting. Boxing Day is named for the boxes, containers.
Containers for gifts, for money.
Exactly. And it's always celebrated on December 26th, the day right after Christmas.
Okay, so it's a huge deal in the UK, Canada, Ireland, basically all the former British colonies and territories.
But the U.S. is, a notable exception, which is why there's so much confusion there.
So let's go back in time to the British Isles 800 years ago. If it's not about fighting, what were people actually doing with all these boxes?
Well, you have to trace it back, and it's this fascinating blend of organized charity and what you might call mandated gratitude.
Mandated gratitude.
It was all tied into the social structure of the time. It was designed to be a necessary counterbalance to Christmas Day.
Okay, let's focus on that phrase, necessary counterbalance.
Yeah.
Why the day after Christmas? Why not on Christmas itself?
Because for centuries, Christmas Day was for your immediate family. Or if you were working class, you were busy serving your employer.
Right. You were working.
The 26th was specifically set aside for the people who were serving or for those who had nothing. And historically, there are two really distinct types of boxes that define the day.
Okay, let's start with the one that feels most connected to the religious season, the charitable box, the alms boxes.
Correct. The alms box. It comes from a Greek word for mercy, actually.
Right.
And it was, a simple collection box, usually made of wood, placed in churches.
And people would donate all year.
All year long, they'd put in money for the poor. But the key is when they opened it. On the day after Christmas, these boxes were opened up and all the alms, the money, the food, the clothing, it was all publicly distributed.
That public aspect is so interesting. It's a form of accountability, isn't it? Showing the congregation, hey, this is where your money is actually going.
Absolutely. And what's really amazing is that this tradition, this public act of redistribution, it still persists.
Okay.
Some churches today continue this exact practice on the 26th.
Wow. A direct link 8 centuries back.
A real living link.
So that's the public box of charity. But then you have the people who are working through Christmas. This brings us to that second box you mentioned, the workers' box.
Right, and this goes right to the heart of the social structure. For centuries, if you were a household servant, an apprentice, a mail carrier, a butcher, you worked on Christmas Day. It was expected.
So Boxing Day was their Christmas?
It was their one guaranteed day off for the season. It was. It was crucial.
And it wasn't just a day off. They got something too.
Mm.
The sources mention these Christmas boxes.
Yes, and these were the physical form of that gratitude we talked about. The boxes would come from their employer, from their clients.
And what was in them?
Usually money, like a year-end bonus. But also, sometimes, specific notes of thanks, or even leftover food from the big Christmas feast. It was a formal reward.
When you look at the whole picture, it's incredible. The holiday is so deeply rooted in fixing these historical imbalances. In a time when workers had almost no rights, this day off and a box of money. It was like a social contract.
That's a perfect way to put it. It wasn't charity in this case. It was appreciation.
One for charity, one for appreciation.
Exactly. The church box was for the truly destitute, and the workers' box was for those who served. It acknowledged labor and it alleviated poverty. You can see why a system based on class needed this day right after Christmas.
That is such a powerful foundation. I mean, this solemn, structured day of service and rest.
hmm
But traditions, they evolve, don't they?
They certainly do.
What starts as opening an alms box can become something completely different.
Yeah.
How does that solemn day translate to modern times? Because I'm guessing most mail carriers aren't getting a chest of silver anymore.
No, not quite. And that's where things diverge so radically. It creates this fascinating contrast. I mean, Boxing Day today is still a continuation of Christmas. You visit people, you eat leftovers.
Right.
You try to, but the actual activities are
Yeah.
this collision of ancient solemnity and some very extreme modern practices.
And some of those traditions in Great Britain are truly intense. The sources mentioned too. They're both, well, they're a lot. The first is fox hunting.
Yes, or at least the ceremonial parts of it, since the laws have changed. But for many rural communities, the traditional Boxing Day meet, with the hounds and the horses, it's still a huge cultural event.
A throwback to a certain kind of upper-class leisure.
Very much so.
Okay. And the second one mentioned is, I mean, it's just outright dangerous, going for a swim in the icy English Channel.
Oh, yeah. The polar bear plunge. This is where you see these intense endurance traditions. They're often for charity, which connects back, but it involves groups of people just running into frigid water.
And then the source material is very clear about the danger here. This isn't a casual dip.
Not at all. It's a severe high-risk thing. You have to prepare for it. It's almost like a penitent way to mark a day that's supposed to be about rest.
So on one hand, you've got people on horseback, and on the other, people risking hypothermia. Definitely not my idea of relaxing.
Me neither.
But for you listening right now, for the average person, what does the source suggest you might actually do on Boxing Day, short of freezing to death?
Well, the modern applications are much more relatable, and tellingly, they reflect how the holiday got sucked into global commerce.
Of course.
You see two main activities now. First, planning to return the Christmas gifts you don't want. And second, and this is the big one, going shopping for bargains.
This is a wild juxtaposition, isn't it?
It's unbelievable.
The day was invented to open boxes of charity and thanks. Now, a huge part of it is about returning boxes of unwanted stuff and then going out to buy more boxes on sale.
It's a total flip. Boxing Day sales are now some of the biggest shopping days of the year in Commonwealth countries. It's their Black Friday.
So beyond the shopping, the sources also suggest more simple things, right?
Yeah, simple restorative things like spend time with friends you missed on Christmas, or just take the day off and actually relax.
But I notice it also brings it back to the beginning. It suggests that you could choose to give a gift of true service to someone in need.
And that's the tension. That's the ethical pull against the commercial push.
The tension between buying bargains and giving service.
Exactly. And that's why we have to go beyond just the history and look at the ethical framework, the spirit of giving that the sources point to.
We're shifting gears now from history to ethics. And our notes point specifically to the Sermon on the Mount, which that definitely elevates the conversation.
It does. I mean, to give you some context, the Sermon on the Mount is one of the most famous teachings of Jesus. He's speaking to this huge crowd, laying out this foundational code for how to live.
And part of that was about the right way to practice your faith.
Mhm.
Prayer, fasting, and giving to the poor, doing alms.
And right in the middle of that, he gives this incredibly stern warning about why we give. Which brings us to the scripture provided, Matthew chapter 6, verses 1 through 4.
Okay, let's break this down. That first verse is a powerful warning.
It is. It says, "Take heed that ye do not your alms before men to be seen of them. Otherwise ye have no reward of your Father which is in heaven."
So the implication there, it's so clear. If your reason for giving is to get applause from other people,
That's your reward.
that's it. The transaction is complete. You have the reward.
Exactly. Then verse 2 gets even more dramatic. He uses this incredible analogy against performative charity.
The trumpet.
Yes. "Therefore, when thou doest thine alms, do not sound a trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do, that they may have glory of men."
The imagery is so strong. Sounding a trumpet. I mean, the modern version is someone live streaming their donation, right?
Or posting a selfie while they're volunteering. It's that same impulse. Look at me, look how good I am.
He's warning against making service a spectacle.
And all that context makes the next instruction, which is maybe the most famous part, so much more profound.
It's the goal, really. Verse 3. But when thou doest alms, let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doeth.
That's the ultimate test of your intention, isn't it?
It is.
You're not just hiding your good deed from an audience. You're trying to hide it almost from yourself. It's about complete internal privacy in the act. And verse 4 explains why. The goal is that your alms may be in secret. And the reward for that private action is completely different from the applause of men.
And thy Father, which seeth in secret himself, shall reward thee openly.
It's a completely different reward structure.
This connects so perfectly back to the original spirit of Boxing Day. I mean, the church alms box was open publicly, sure, but the focus was on the community's need, not the individual's glory.
And the servant's box was a private act of gratitude between two people, an employer and a worker. There was no spectacle. It emphasizes the value of sincere, anonymous service.
So it provides this 2,000-year-old ethical yardstick for all giving today.
Right. Whether you're giving $1 million or just, quietly helping a neighbor, it asks you to check your motivation. Are you doing this to be seen, or is it sincere? Is it secret?
And the source material really puts that question directly to you, the listener. What do these scriptures mean to you, and how do they apply to how you give gifts or how you care for the needy today? It turns Boxing Day from a curiosity into an ethical exercise.
It does. And the final prompt in your notes is a call to action, to share your thoughts and then actually do something for someone, based on that spirit of genuine service.
Which brings us to a perfect synthesis, really.
Yeah.
Boxing Day is this incredible, unique blend. You've got 800-year-old charity systems, mandated rest for workers.
You've got these risky celebrations like icy swims, and then this massive modern commercial rush.
But the common thread through all those centuries is the box.
It always comes back to the box, a container for thanks, for alms, or for bargains. And what you choose to do with that box, that says everything.
And that box really represents a fundamental choice now, doesn't it? We saw that Boxing Day started, in part, as this act of public accountability, opening the church boxes. Then it evolved to include that private gratitude for servants. So as you think about the modern choice between bargain hunting and service, which box best honors that true spirit of thanks?
Is it the historical public act of giving or the secret private act?
That question about the intention behind what you do, that feels like the real spirit of the day.
It's a lasting legacy.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the history and the real spirit of Boxing Day. We hope this knowledge serves you well as you reflect on your own actions this holiday season.
Thank you for joining us for this day in His story. May the lessons of yesterday inspire you to see God's hand today and to play your part in His story now. For more faith-based learning, visit ahsworldwide.org, the homeschool for faith and family.